Hello friends, happy new week. New stream week for me. I could have streamed yesterday, but I didn't. It's nice to have a day off like that. Weekend days off are different. Boro, never make it early enough to see the start screen. I usually don't put one up. The starting soon. I'm trying to do better so I can give myself time so that stream elements can come in, but I think you're the first one today, so welcome. I'm gonna put some crumbs in the sink. Sometimes I'm way ahead of myself, like I was today, and sometimes I start with an empty counter. But today I'm getting out my new paper, cupcake papers. So, how are you doing, Boro? How are things? I still feel like there's two. Yep. My goal is to not waste a single cupcake liner. Although we're having muffins today, not cupcakes. What's the difference? We could debate that for a while, huh? Oh, you know what? I didn't start the music. Decent, you finished spaghetti dinner. Very nice. Let me play the music and then I'll be better. Looks like it's playing. Let's check the levels. Yeah, good. I'm great today, thank you. We're suffering from allergies, all of us. I went walking with my friends this morning. We're all struggling with it. Irish and Child are struggling with it. So hopefully some of the pollen will clear out tomorrow if it rains. So at 40% right now. But over the weekend it's supposed to rain and cool off. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So in anticipation, we're making more fall flavored treats today. Although oatmeal and applesauce are kind of all the time things for me. But the caramel cider cookies very much fall. So once I finish this, we'll get started on those. There we go. I have 500, but I'm not going to waste one. Not if I can help it. And they'll live down here. There's so much stuff down here. All right, there we go. I tucked them in with all the cookie cutters. Seasonal cookie cutters. I have a ton. They're all for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So we're just coming on to the time of year where I can start to use them. But this should be ready. So we'll put, I believe it makes 12. It says it makes 12. We'll put that over there and start our oven at 350, and then we'll make cookies. Moving things around back and forth. I cut this recipe in half. It can make 2 to 3 dozen, it claims. I've made it several times. No, I've made it twice before. And I don't remember how much each time it made, but I've made notes to use 35 grams of dough per cookie. So we'll go with that and see how we get on. But we have to soften the butter because even though I got it out ahead of time, it was not enough ahead of time. But we live in the future. We have microwaves and we can stream. Talk to people thousands of miles away instantaneously. It's kind of wild. I use instantaneously loosely. You always forget to soften it, yeah. Oh, I mean, I know better. I just chose not to, I guess. The thing is, it's recoverable, right? You don't have to only do it one way. You can nuke it for 15 seconds, which is what we'll do here in a minute, after I cut it into chunks, and it seems to work just fine. Would I prefer to soften it just by letting it sit out? Yeah, but I remember at 9 in the morning and I don't remember again until 3:40 in the afternoon. So I don't want it out all day. That's just me. That's me being American, like, oh, the butter has to go in the fridge all the time. It does not. Just something about it though. Also, I've learned often enough by getting my vitamins out and putting them on the counter in front of the coffee maker while I make my coffee, then I'm going to drink, my coffee and have my vitamins, that if I leave something out on the counter that the cats can play with, they for sure will. The cat punctured a hole in my fish oil vitamin this morning. It didn't leak though, which was interesting. I thought they were like, they feel juicy. I think they must just be a gel, not a oil. I still do it too. Yeah. All right, nuke for just a few seconds. The in's out because I'm making rice for salmon tonight. We love our salmon and rice. It's been a while since we had it, so. But that'll probably come after stream. Thicker oil, yeah, I didn't squeeze it. I was just gonna try and, eat it as it was, swallow it as it was. So that worked out well, but I've never squeezed open a fish oil pill, which I'm kind of curious now to see. I'm gonna give it another 6 seconds. These are arbitrary but small numbers. It just wants a little bit more. And then we're gonna cream the sugar. Yes, we add that. So this calls for an apple cider drink mix. Squeeze the fish oil into my coffee. Why you want me to hate my life? I like coffee with heavy cream in it. I don't know that fish oil would do me any favors. It's so fishy. Like, because the cat had punctured it, you could smell it. And I was like, oh, good. I mean, I don't mind fish. I don't want fish in anything but fish. It's like we put the vital proteins, the collagen peptides in Irish's coffee. In the morning, he doesn't mind it at all, but it just changes coffee enough for me that I don't enjoy the coffee with the peptides in it. So I'm like, I'll just eat meat or whatever. That's right. You also don't like bacon and you don't like coffee. That's okay. Of those who do, some like it always and some like it specifically. I'll drink a lot of bad coffee, so I'm probably one of those who would be like, oh, sure, you put fish oil in it. I mean, I guess I'll, if I have to, but then I'll want to make myself a nicer coffee later. I'll like owe it to myself. Yeah, there are some things where you're just like, I'm so sad this is in my mouth and I want to spit it out, and then you don't. Why not? Just spit it out. We're going to put our sugar in. So again, this is half a recipe, so I've got to read my notes or we'll go way off the rails. Oh, but this calls for apple cider drink mix packets. I put spices in instead. I went ahead in a previous test in 2018 and found out what spices I liked in it and went ahead and did that, because I'm not going to buy drink packets. I mean, you know me. I'm going to try and make it myself, no matter what it is. Okay, so 100 grams of sugar. Went in with 113 grams of butter. You can't hear music. That's right. Yes, you didn't mind not hearing it, but I think maybe it's too quiet again. Thank you. Can you hear it now? If so, I can turn it back down for you. You're the only one in chat, so you get to make the rules. But I did want it on there for the VOD. I don't know why I don't, just barely? Okay, barely's good. Barely's fine, because then if I'm not talking and you can hear it, then there's something. That's why I have it. Thank you for the feedback. What else did they want me to put in here with the, okay, salt, which is super important for this recipe. Because the caramel I'm using is not salted caramel, and salt does a lot of interesting, I think very pleasant things to caramel. This one is not an authorized opinion, this one does, as one is told. Everyone gets an opinion here in my kitchen. No opting out. This is when I go, vote everybody. I mean, I do think everybody should vote. If you don't, I'm not gonna yell at you, but We are all authorized in opinion and we should all exercise it as we see fit. I happen to like encouraging people to vote. Even if you're going to vote for somebody that I would vote against or whatever, it's fine. It's a thing that we do. When we are lucky enough to live in a country, or we choose to live in a country that uses that as part of its government. And that's all I'm going to say on politics. That was more of a voting PSA than anything else, I hope. I need my very cool half tablespoon measure for this next bit. And the rest is all teaspoon. So even though I don't like my nutmeg, it goes in here. But we're going to start with, I might have to get out my other cinnamon. 1.5. Nope, that's about it. Everything is fine. I have a whole nother one of these. Of course I do. Nother is a word in Texas. Yes, whole nother. That's how we roll. So then we have cloves, which I had a fajita spice like this. I always look at it like, oh, is that the fajita? It's not. Don't put fajita spice in your cookies. Hello, Creme. How are you?
Everything is fine. Nothing is ruined.
Put in all this cinnamon. Opinions are not authorized. Emotions are discouraged. Obedience is demanded. Comply or be destroyed. It's a little severe, maybe, Boro. At least for this channel, but no, I love it. Is it an actual quote? You put quotes around it, and I'm sure it could be an actual quote from 1984 or all sorts of other things. All right, these are our cloves. I love 1984. Such a good book. Is there a movie? Oh. I don't know how much. I mean, I have more allspice, but I'm going to pour it. I don't think I can get it quite measured the way I want otherwise. Something you used to say over as you worked at a factory print shop. We used to say, I'm happy and fulfilled in my well-paying job. I am happy and fulfilled in my well-paying job. When we worked at trashy little internet companies and all the like. Let me see if there's anything left in here. It's gonna go the same way the cinnamon did. So all of the cinnamon, all of the allspice used up today. Almost perfectly measured. So we'll put back cloves. We'll put in some nutmeg. Just a bit busy today, Chef Steve shows up tomorrow to drop off his first load of boxes and see his new kitchen. That is amazing, Creme. I'm great. You said that Chef Steve is gonna be with you, right? Like permanent residence kind of thing? Like that's just crazy. Crazy awesome, I mean, of course. So long as the bosses pretend to pay us, we'll pretend to work. That's an 80s Soviet saying, right? Hello, the best Todd ever. How are you? It's been a minute since I've seen you. Share with us how the things are going. I will stir this. I will cream this all together. This is basically what I consider cider spices. Butter and sugar. He moves in November 1st. Gosh, fantastic. He's moving from Fort Worth, right? He was up there. Look at all these really dark, lovely spices. So if I was using the actual apple cider mix that it was calling for, I looked it up online. The ingredients include more sugar, but this really doesn't need it. And some apple juice powdered stuff, which could be fine. You know, it could add some flavor. I'm actually using apple flavored caramels, so we'll get that from the caramel instead of the non-existent drink mix. But it is nice, I believe, to use your own spices when you don't want to buy a product, like a prepackaged thing. All right, so I'm going to get a little bowl and put our dry into it, as we often do, which will be flour and the leavenings. Thank you for the alert, Creme. Hate to do this, you're going to have to get back to work. Totally fine. Thank you very much for just leaving the browser going. I've been doing that quite a bit with people as well, especially at night, because I'm going to go to sleep. And they're, you know, people up late streaming, doing all sorts of good stuff. So completely get that and appreciate it very much. All right, flour, we need just a cup. Nope, we need a cup and a bit, 210. You can't decide if it's 210 or 211. We'll take that. That should be good. And then we'll want these up here. So we will get, I believe, half. Yep, half and quarter. The soda is half. The powder is quarter. I do tend to find that for most of the recipes, the way I prefer their leavened would be less powder, more soda. Soda does the heavy lifting. Powder is just soda mixed with a few other things. So 1 or 2 other things, I believe. So I feel baking soda is the more of the workhorse. Just the 3. Oh, it said add cinnamon. I don't, because I put all the cinnamon in there. So if you were using your drink mix, it would have had some and you would add more. But I put a bunch in. We're fine. All right, I'm gonna add eggs and vanilla into here and then the dry. So for vanilla, we're gonna have half and 1 egg. Oops, a little bit of extra vanilla. That'll make it extra sweet tasting. We're gonna go for the one-handed crack. Let's see if we can do it. I saw the shell was trying to come off and it managed to get stuck inside of itself rather than coming off on the outside, which is nice because then it did not fall into our cookie mix. Ooh, my trash can smells terrible again. Goodness, we were in Dallas over the weekend and we came home, got home on Sunday morning, opened up the door, smelled like trash can. Not even like the cats didn't knock it over or anything. The trash smelled really, really bad throughout the house when we came home. That's how badly it needed. It was half full though. I don't usually take it out until it's full just because I don't want to waste the space. I know it doesn't make any sense, but there we are. All right, I have got to loosen up what's on the spatula though. It's pretty heavy. Or you're planning to have your first attempt at bagels in the next few days. Ordered a wok. Ooh, have gotten all of the Italian dishes that you like down good enough, so time to move on. Excellent. I love that you're tackling some really interesting things, like cooking with a wok is really cool. I've done it a few times. I don't have a wok currently, although I was watching something that said a cast iron skillet is a Texan's wok. But bagels with the, they get the acid bath, right? The lye bath, just like pretzels, right? To give them that exterior and then the chewy inside. I'd love to know how that goes with you. That would be really neat to hear. Okay, I'm taking the ring off as usual when I anticipate. I mean, I'm not putting my hands in there yet, but I will be shortly once I mix all this in. So, might as well get prepared. See if I missed anything, just to, you know, make sure. I think I'm good. What I didn't do was peel my caramels, but I will show you which ones I am using. So we have Werther's Originals caramel apple flavor. So when Target put out their Halloween stuff, like what, 3 months ago, it feels like, we went through, my friend and I did a Target stroll. If you see two women with small children or no children that look very tired and are walking around Target with coffee, they're probably doing what we do, which is walk around with your friend, get your friend time. Also happen to coincidentally do groceries and other incidental shopping. And Target has a Starbucks inside of it now. They used to have a popcorn and ices, but Starbucks one. So we were doing that and saw these in early September, and I didn't resist. My friend had them and said they were super good. They had a couple of different really good flavors too, fall flavors. Caramel's fine, salted caramel is better. Bacon caramel, as we know, is best. I loved it so much when we made it. But any flavors in there, I enjoy trying a flavored caramel. So it's stuff for Easter, right? Exactly. You should try to take pictures. Do you have an Instagram? Am I following you on Instagram? If so, or are you following me? Because I try to follow back everybody that follows me, but not everybody's name matches, which is perfectly reasonable. If you do take pictures and put them on Instagram, I will probably recognize them. If they're bagels, I will hopefully remember this conversation, but you never know. Yeah, I mean, kids are already talking about Christmas. Today and tomorrow are Amazon Prime early shopping days, right? All the news is like, suppliers trying to do early sales, blah, blah, blah. Nobody has anything that I want on sale, so that's fine. I'm just not going to buy anything. I can't think of a thing that I would need anyway. Not really. Okay, this has just come together. There's still a few pockets, actually. Okay, now I will say, pockets are done. You're almost exclusively a viewer, not a poster on everything. I get that. Until I started this, I was the exact same. And then I started the streaming, and then because of that, I started the Instagram. So here we are. Still not going back to Twitter. Won't go back to Twitter. Could not bribe me. Could not think of a thing you could bribe me with to go back. So I loved it for what I used it for when I used it. And then after that, it got not okay, which is a terrible way to say that, but that's the best way for me. All right. These are very long caramels too, so I was gonna weigh the dough. See how much of my disher holds. Nice flat disher. 29. What a pain. 30 is, I'll put 5 grams on top of each one then. Fine, it'll be fine. I'll just do them in normal ranks. Hello, Megan, how are you? How's your today? Thank you for sending that yoga. I still haven't done it, but I keep thinking about it. I do a 3-mile walk with my friends at least once a week, and so we did that this morning, and it was super nice out. We went by a koi pond that I never knew was there. It was like right there, just inside a little thing. And so we spent a minute hanging out with the fishes. It was very zen. Or you have one friend who tries to convince you about monthly to start streaming cooking, but you have nausea level anxiety just chatting. Yeah, I think that maybe you're not in a season of that, right? That's what we say. This is not your season for streaming. Totally fine. Nausea level anxiety is a sign, right? Whether it's try harder, which can be for some people, right? But for some of us, it's you're going to drain all your energy trying to do this thing, and then you're going to be mad at yourself for spending all your energy on something that's going to exhaust you. And like, different people get told in different ways to do things, right? For some people, that's a call to action. For some people, it's a big warning. So, you're okay? I caught a little bit of your chat in Irish's stream this morning, Megan. Just feeling bummed or other stuff going on? You do not have to say on stream anyway, but if you want to tell me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too, but I'm here if you want to. You know, want to chat. I'm tired because of allergies, and I mean, ironic, right, that I say this, but it's wearing me out. Like, being tired from allergies is wearing me out because I'm worn out already. And I have allergies, and it just makes it worse. Tired of trying to date and not finding a genuine connection. Very hard, yeah. Yes, I have no good advice for you, unfortunately. I mean, Irish and I met at work, which your mileage may vary, but I can say hang in there. Like, again, with the seasons, maybe it's not time, which sucks because if you're ready and nobody else is, then it feels lonely. I mean, I get that you say I'll get over it, but like, it's okay to feel sad about that. It's okay to be lonely about that. Like, that's a real thing that we want. And when it's missing, we notice it. It's important to us. Just don't beat yourself up over it, you know? All right, so I have more dough than I thought I would, according to the notes that I made based on the weight of the last one. So let's see if I can go for another row. Oh, my sniffles, can you hear them? I have a little snotty nose. At least I don't have a cough. My friend has a raunchy cough. It's rough. Oh, forever, I was like fully autonomous, forever alone. Yeah, that's definitely an option. I couldn't choose it. If I didn't have my family to drive me crazy and keep me company, I would probably be, I don't know, a monk. I just don't think I'd make a very good nun, you know, so I got, I don't know, that's a hard one, right? You forgot to send your joke, that's okay. You don't have to pay the dues of bringing a joke in, you just come show up, all good. Anyway, you can't be alone on Twitch. Somebody will come say hi. So it's not that alone, but yeah, finding a mate and making it work. And I say making because you have to make it work. It doesn't just work out like that by itself. Yeah, it's a lot of work. All right. Ooh, just got slimy hands on my scale. How much is 5 grams? That looks, oh. All right, well, I'm gonna add a little bit to each one. It won't be 5 grams, but that's okay. We'll just, and then I'll split them in half, stick a caramel back in it, and, whoop, too much. I want them to be basically even so they'll bake basically evenly. Seems reasonable, right? Yum. All right. If I scrape this bowl out well enough, I can reuse it for my muffins. Luckily, the cookie dough basically sticks to itself, so if I can get it all together, it'll come out. And this has essentially the things the muffins have in it, and then the muffins have more. So should work out great. There we go. Let's put that away over there. Let's put these away. Poor oven's been working for 16 minutes. It has a nice little timer. Humans are too human. Yeah, all right. Take your time, Boro. Do your thing. I will unwrap these. I kind of want to, they're so long and thin, I'm going to actually squish them. And then take half a cookie, mush it, and put it on top. Humans are definitely too human. Every day they're humans doing human stuff. I mean, humans can be pretty great, but also trash. It's confusing. How can people be so awesome and so awful? Basically, this would be a really fun cookie to make if you have some like tension to get out and you want to work with your hands, because you get to squish the caramels and put the dough, like pull the dough apart and then squish it back together. So it's very tactilely pleasing for me at the moment, although I'm not particularly stressed. Still, it's nice. If I recall correctly, these spread quite a bit, so they might be, 15 might be too many to put on a tray, but we'll just handle it however we find it when we pull it out of the oven. I've never really had a problem with this recipe before, but it has been apparently 4 years since I made it, so I might find a new fun, exciting quirk that it has. Kind of like during the 2020 and then the 2021, like how pandemic was being handled, and everyone's like, oh, you thought 2020 was bad. 2021 is even worse. And in some ways it really was. It was just a lot. Exactly, right? Hold my beer. Says 2021. I don't know, 2022's been, I mean, they all had their really great parts and less awesome parts. Every year does, though, I feel like. We kind of have to treat it like that. We are not owed a year where everything happens exactly the way we want, right? There we go. The fun thing about this particular cookie, it's very unique in that when you take it out, you have to flip it over and let it cool, or the caramel leaks out the bottom and you end up with hollow shells of cookies and no caramels. So we'll let them bake for about 14 minutes. Probably not quite that long, because we're on convection. So 11, we'll set it for 10. Thought I was gonna sneeze, might still sneeze. Oh, you can hear the congestion. There we go. I do need to remember to keep looking at the network status, because we lost it today pretty significantly. All the internet, upload and download. So did our next door neighbor, because we're on the same run, I guess they call it. So hopefully we'll get more info on that. I know, poor Irish. He had such, it frustrates him so much. And I mean, me too, if it happens. He gets very upset very quickly with that, because it has been going on for so long, and it's unconscionable to me, for a company to know that they're charging for a service that we're paying for that we are not getting and that they are not trying to fix, you know? So that's pretty rough, actually. All right, 10 minutes is gonna go on our Stream Deck timer. Got the Stream Deck working today. I think I might have most of it figured out as to how to make the Stream Deck work every time. We'll see if it continues to work. But if I magically press all the buttons in the right order, including opening OBS like 5 minutes after everything else has been opened for a while, then it seems to work. So that might be the new normal. All right, so these are in. Excuse me. We will pull our other recipe and our dirty bowls back in, but I think it'll take a sec. I'll have some tea. Yeah, Megan, I think that would be, I'm frustrating for anybody, so. Gosh, I could just close my eyes forever. That wouldn't be very effective. Except that they just burn, you know? I'm trying to get a new allergy medication, but all the stores around me stopped selling it, so I had to get on Amazon and buy like a bottle of 500. which hopefully I don't need 500, but you know, the way allergy season's been going so far, maybe I do. A lot of it's just like throat and eyes, like irritation, discomfort, sinus pressure, a lot of sinus pressure, a lot of like headaches coming on and then retreating, that kind of thing. So just uncomfortable. All right, let's put together some healthy applesauce oat muffins. I was gonna make my standby muffins, but I remember they come out very dense. And so I tried a whole new recipe. I've got it all printed out, ready to try. So it will be a surprise whether it works the way I want it to or not. It says healthy, it has applesauce, it also has melted butter, so hey, awesome. It also has sugar. You know what though? It just occurs to me, I'm gonna go ahead and actually pull out my sugar substitutes. I cannot remember, erythritol, finally got it. I'm gonna pull out the erythritol substitute so that I can make these sugar-free. And then I will eat them for my brekkies. There we go. Because I love something like this, a warm oat related muffin. Oh, I have to, actually, this requires cinnamon. I have to go get my cinnamon, my new one. I used up the other one in the cookies. So I like the flavor, but I don't always like making oatmeal. Like sometimes that's too hot, and so I just want a substitute. Here's our new cinnamon. So hopefully these muffins will be that kind of thing. And then if I don't have sugar in them, I will feel less guilty about eating them instead of like eggs or yogurt. Ooh, the new cinnamon, my hands are greasy because of the butter. There we go, there we go. So we'll get the cinnamon ready. But it basically is applesauce, oat, cinnamon, and then the normal stuff that you would have to make a muffin. Flour, powder, soda, salt, egg, milk, vanilla. So should work, looks reasonable. You never know with a new one. Stir together oatmeal, applesauce, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, add wet to dry again. So oatmeal goes in with the wet, so that's nice. Got my big jar of oats. I have another big one of these, and then I will actually have to go buy more oats. They're always so handy to have around, though. Excellent. And it does say to use old-fashioned. Your jokes went over like weights on meringue. Oh, no. It's a good one for a baking channel, though. This one does say to use old-fashioned oats because they like the texture. The author of it likes the texture, and I do too. They're the whole ones. Quick oats would work fine. Steel cut would obviously not. I shouldn't say obviously. Steel cut would not because they are little nuts. They're little hard crunchies. They're not really nuts. Don't quote me. But they definitely have a different quality than these. The only time you ever use oats is oatmeal cookies in winter. For the win then, now you can add oatmeal muffins for the fall and winter as well. These, like, you can make old-fashioned oats the same way you can make quick oats. You literally pour water, boiling water over them and let them sit for 3 or 4 minutes. So I don't even get quick oats because these work the same. If I want oatmeal, like flour, I will just put this in the blender. So, but I don't use it, I don't make like porridge as much. All right, so this one's a cup of unsweetened applesauce. I have all these squeezies from a time I thought my kid would eat them, and then she would not. She has texture issue, so, you know. So I'm gonna weigh them out just to make sure. I think I did my math fairly well. You never know with me. And oats last forever, Boro, as long as you keep them sealed, so. I don't know that there's much risk in keeping them forever, you know? Having them for whenever you're ready for winter oat cookies. Do you put, you said oatmeal cookies, so are they not oatmeal raisin? We're going for 227 grams. Which will not be this entire squeezy. These are gluten-free by way of being made of apples. Obviously. I'm gonna put that squeezy in the fridge. I will probably eat it later with something. I don't mind an applesauce squeezy myself. It's a little fruity treat. You like raisin, no one else does, so you don't have raisin. Now you're diabetic, so you can't even have the boring ones. How does that work with, if you made them with this, if you made them with fake sugar, is it the actual like fruit sugars itself? Would that mess you up? If you had applesauce, or like the carbs would mess you up if you had like oat flour, or are you okay with those? I don't know. I always think like you can't have sugar, right? But there's probably other stuff that you also want to avoid. Oats still have a lot of carbs, yeah. They think that they do. I didn't know if it was like carbs or quick carbs, or, you know, I mean like potatoes are a very starchy carb for a vegetable. So like I know it from the keto end, not from the diabetic end as far as that goes. So I have a lot I could learn. You don't have to teach me, of course. I'm just wondering out loud based on my knowledge and what you've experienced. So grains are bad. So all the grains. So no, oh yeah, you can't have any of this. Yellow, hello, Capiozo. How are you? Welcome in. Thank you for a first time chat. We're making muffins and we have cookies in the oven. They're smelling really good. Let's see how long we have. We have 2 minutes left before we have to check. I think they're going to be done enough. Convection helps with that for sure. So half cup of milk, the egg. You can have basically anything if in small enough quantities, so really worth it. Right, fair. I rarely want one cookie, to be honest. You're doing quite fine. It's gonna be your birthday in about 21 minutes. Well done, down to the minute. I'm very well, thank you. Happy early birthday, of course. We have, we made a cake on Friday. We made a birthday cake on Friday. So, could have made you a birthday cake, but 21 minutes notice is not enough. Nevertheless, you can have a birthday cookie. Everybody gets cookies. I am putting in vanilla and butter and the fake sugar. Yeah. Okay. I didn't melt my butter. Should do that. Mind sharing a slice with you? Absolutely. You may always have a slice of whatever we're making, or a piece or a bite. I would love to share. Unfortunately, the birthday cake's almost gone because we kept eating it over the weekend too. So it was a half of a carrot cake. It's easy to make a half when you just make one and then flip it and make it layers instead. It's much easier whenever you're only feeding a few people. But I'm glad to be sharing a birthday stream, or a stream with you on your birthday. I hope it is going very well. Hope it is the best one yet. How much vanilla are we gonna need? A teaspoon. I put the teaspoon back here. How clever of me. And then I'm gonna melt some butter. I don't think I need, oh, I need a 1 for the powder and a half for the soda. Do I have, yep. Ooh, let's check on cookies. We'll just throw that. It's the first one with the 2 in front. Oh, how fun. My goodness. All right, oh, okay. So they are done. And look at this one right here. It's pooping out a little bit of caramel. So we are gonna set, I know, I have to put it back here because I don't have room over here. We're gonna set a 3-minute cooling timer, and as soon as it goes off, we're gonna flip them upside down on a cooling rack so they don't all lose their caramel in the same fashion. So Capiozo, is that how it's said? How would you like to be called? I would be happy to call you anything as long as it's not inappropriate, because I keep the stream family friendly as possible, although sometimes get me late into a stream when I'm delirious and had too much caffeine, and we'll see what comes out of my mouth. Sometimes I am just a very sassy person. But not yet. Not the beginning of the stream week for me. All right, we're gonna melt this. Just throw it in the microwave and see what happens. That goes in here, but the milk's cold so it won't cook the egg, and we'll get the dry. Capio for short, and to keep it easy. Perfectly reasonable is what I meant to say, as long as I'm saying it right. Capio. Almost always family friendly, I think. Thank you, Boro. I do try. There was the other day, we were making terrible double on top. Butter's done. We were, oh, it's done and on the top of the, yeah. You know how I have a thing to put over, yeah, it's this thing right here. This thing that I should have put in there, I did not. Give me 1 second while I get butter off the top of the microwave. It is a bit on the handle too, so yay. Right, 27 seconds was the right answer. I just got it wrong. So stir in the melted butter. It's hot, so I'm stirring it. If it were melted and cooled like it should have been, I would not have to stir it like that, but here we are. What was I saying? Oh, we were being quite sassy. Sometime last week, I think it was Thursday. I don't know, the stream's it's kind of like having one big conversation with all your friends, and people come in and people go, and then you just keep having it for days and days on end. So we could watch the VOD and see which the sassiest was, but you know. All right. You're currently translating about 4 to 5 recipes for your friend who's going to cook them on a stream, but I guess I can procrastinate for a while. Oh, fun. Translating, how so? I translate most of mine into grams. I've used Google to translate some from German to English. That's about as much as I've done. I'm curious to see what you're up to. And who's your friend who streams? I would be curious. We can give them a shout out. Do you stream? We can give you a shout out. Flour. Oh, sugar goes back in this one. Yeah, of course. 71. Thankfully, it weighs the same, whether it's real sugar or fake sugar, so. Cooling timer. Okay, fine. 1 moment. Dump all the sugar in and run. $70 is close enough to 71. Done with that, we're going to get the cooling rack. And this time I will not grab everything with my bare hands because it is still hot. What is a double entendre? Can someone film me? Is it a genuine question? Because sometimes I don't know. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a word or phrase with 2 meanings, and one of them is usually grown up. It's not always grown up. Sometimes it's a body joke, right? Like we've got dropping the kids off at the pool. Means 2 things. It means what it means, and it also means pooping. So, do you remember how dark this was when we first mixed it up? It's a lot light. You can't because I'm not under the camera because I'm a terrible streamer. It lightened up quite a bit as it baked. So now they're kind of light tan. They're not nearly that dark spice cookie shape or color. I said, oh, I'm super great. I'm having a beginning of a stream week where I can talk, and then I can't talk. Use my words. All right, we will let those cool like that. You can see some of them where there's the dark, these dark bits right here. That's where if I left them upside down, the caramel would be coming out. So this is why we do this, so that they will be filled as we intended. Cappy, you're translating from Polish to English. Suggest Polish recipe, said heck yes. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm not ready to take a survey. Okay. Hello, King Merlin. I still am gonna call you that. No, I won't. We'll just say Merlin. Drunk cooking. Oh, perfect. Let's shout out drunk cooking. Let's put our cursor thing. If we were shrunken, we could ride in your cool hair bun. Absolutely. You get a really good view. Everything would smell like you get all the smells. All right, we're shouting out. Oh, drunk cooking. I saw that him, I guess, right? Let's see. No clips? He's not as family friendly. That's fine. I watch all sorts of people, but I keep mine this way for a specific reason. So yes. Would you have us in the center or near the tip of your head? You should ride right here and then you would get a view. So this would, you put your backs against my little bun and then you could see everything that's good. You just have to hold on because I'm like this a lot, right? Good question, good question. But I thought, I know I've seen Drunk Cooking before because, were they streaming yesterday maybe? I was looking at who was on in Food and Drink. Not just my followers, or not people I followed, so. Well, neat. I will, oh, he was on, okay. I did, and I didn't click because I ended up not watching anything. And I went off to play video games. Sometimes I'm in the mood just to play, like to focus and not do anything else, like not have any other audio going. And so I was just playing WoW because I'm back into it now and I just wanted to do something and shut everything else out. So I was gonna watch Twitch and play and I did not. I just ended up playing. But anyway, yes, I saw him. I saw his name on and thought, oh, that would be fun, and then did not follow through. But I will get with it. I will get with it and I'll watch them. Him. I'm so used to not knowing the genders of all the people that I talk about, and so I'm just like using they to hopefully not mess it up too badly. All right, so we have our sugar in. So now we're putting in 107 grams of whole wheat flour, of which I'm almost out, so that's fun. 107, gonna be very, the thing is, I've used whole wheat flour enough that I've made a lot of really stodgy things, and so I'm hoping this is not going to be as stodgy, but instead will be fluffy and moist. We love it. Also super messy. Okay, let's get our leavenings back. I do need a clean, well, thank you for the follow, Capio. I'm gonna try and say your Z's sometimes, but I'll go with Capio. Are you Polish? I'm assuming because you said you were translating that might be the case. He's usually drunk when he's done cooking. Some people really do like to redeem cheers, so he drinks more. Setting himself up, is he? That's okay. That's fun. That's very, I mean, that can be very fun to watch if somebody, you know, takes it in stride and all those things. That's, I can see why that would be a lot of fun. All right, we're doing a, see this one? I'm gonna call it backwards. Oh, I had vanilla in the other one, fine. All of my things are dirty as usual. I'll put them there. Get out a fresh half teaspoon for our soda and 1 full teaspoon for our powder. And then cinnamon, our fresh new cinnamon. And did I leave salt over here? Where did I put I put it right back here where I couldn't see it. Put salt in these as well. You are Polish, very cool. Well, welcome in. I've had some suggestions for some Polish, Czech, and German food, which I recognize are not the same thing, but some of them have some interesting similarities. And so I'm excited to see what you think when we get there. I have quite a backlog of recipes that have been suggested, things I wanted to try. Most of them are sweet, not all of them though. I tend to bake. So, very cool. You're very welcome here. And I will appreciate your perspective. I mean, on anything. You can have a perspective on anything, but in particular about some of those recipes. That'd be cool. All right, so that's our cinnamon going in. So look, well, that is cool enough, but so I'll show you up close as soon as I have a free hand. They've actually sunk in quite a bit where darn it, there we go, where the caramels are. So I'm gonna flip them back over again, and then we'll try one. I always try to try at least one on stream. I might have more than one. And I was thinking that this would be the one I send out this month, because I will send one cookie box out this month, but these are so delicate now that I made them. I couldn't remember if they came out like nice and solid. They're very fluffy. They would crumble very easily, so I don't think I will send these out. I'll find a better recipe that'll be solid when it arrives, and we'll send that one out to somebody instead. You can send some savory recipes to them and sweet ones to you. Exactly, that'd be perfect. Thank you. I do have a Discord. If you ever want to post anything, then you're welcome to do so in my channel. So, C is the cookie. What is the rest of that song? The Cookie Monster song, right? All right, well, we'll try this one that was gooping out its and the caramel is very sticky. It's very nice. These are a little bit cakey. So when my robot just went off over there, I was not talking to her. When I made notes, it said a little bit dry. And it is, if you're thinking of like a buttery chocolate chip cookie, for instance. It is a little bit drier, but it is cakey. And so this is almost like a, I was gonna say more like a blondie, but I don't think that's right. It's just got a different character to it. But the caramel and the spices are really nice. It's got a more delicate crumb, so I would say it's more crumbly, it's more cake cookie-like. Done and done, you love joining the communities. Thank you, Capia, that's very cool. You're very, I'm very happy to have you in mine. So my Discord is run by my husband, so Irish Fatty, but my channels are, you'll see the one that says recipes, that's me. And we enjoy sending and sharing a bunch of recipes and pictures. I have an Instagram for pictures too, but I should probably take pictures of those. They don't look as interesting. You don't know what they are, right? I mean, if you saw these, would you be like, boy, that sounds so interesting, I'll just grab one of those. They just look like lumpy little things. Maybe I should figure out a way to mark them on the top. Oh, like if I had a little caramel drizzle. I did not say that right. A caramel drizzle would be cute though. Then you'd know. Hey John, how are you? Just eating this cookie. It doesn't, we're saying it doesn't look very good, but it's full of caramel. See? Can you? Kind of. Yeah. But it's a cakey cookie with caramel. So that's fun to say. If it's food, you eat them. I mean, I like that. I will eat most food as well. But I particularly like cookies. Thank you, John. It's because you know me. And I would tell you if it wasn't good. All right, so do we have all of our stuff? Yep. That's all of our wet. This is all of our dry. Mix the cinnamon and the leavening in a little bit more. And then we'll put these in together and put them in muffin tins, cups. John, how you doing? How are things? You and Irish flying together on Monday was really fun. Yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Sounds right. All right, so it says it'll be a little bit watery, and since we haven't made this before, I'm all in for giving me fair warning that it's not gonna look right. Maybe a bit different than other muffin batters. Okay, we'll find out how it goes. Paul and Sergio came out. Always a good time. Always fun. I'm glad you had fun together. It's nice to have like friends in the community, you know? You can do stuff like that. Multi. I just had you on 2 separate screens. I didn't even do the multi. Because that requires a browser and I was just... Well, actually I was watching you both on my browser upstairs, but then I had my phone downstairs. So, I'm all over the place. All right, here we go. It's supposed to make 12, so let's test with our disher, which I mostly cleaned out. There's such similar flavor profiles. The texture is really different. I mean, obviously from a cookie to a muffin, but other than that, a little bit of extra cookie dough in the disher and the bowl is not gonna affect the muffin in any way. I will not make a recipe that is so delicate. It requires, well, I guess I do when I make meringue, huh? Meringue requires its own bowl. That's okay. All right. We'll dish one in every one and see how much we have left. That cookie is so nicely balanced. I get a lot of the spice, like I'm assessing the flavor that's left in my mouth. It's not overly sweet. It's sweet for sure, but there are some things you eat and you can't taste anything but the sugar that's left, and so it's not like that. So I like that a lot. I think it has been 4 years since I've made those, according to the notes on the recipe. All right, we're gonna do another disher in each. If there's leftovers, I will get a new tray out because I do not like to put more than 2 dishers in each one. Otherwise, they just splurt out all over the muffin tin and makes a mess, and you don't get to eat it anyway. Unless you want to pick bits off of the metal, like that's just not super fun. Maybe I'm too snobby for that, but I don't like that. What's so appealing about oatmeal, but if a food has oatmeal in it and the first one to put your fingers on it? I am the same way, and I think part of what it has to do with, because I've thought about this a lot, because what else am I gonna do but think about why I like oatmeal, is it always makes something moist, right? You know, it's always gonna have good moisture content because the oats will absorb whatever's there, and so you'll get that. And it just has it has a flavor, right? You think of oats as kind of bland, but there's definitely a flavor that comes with oats. And so it's gonna be a known quantity, right? So you're like, well, at least it's got oatmeal in it. I kind of know what to expect. It's not gonna be super dry unless somebody screwed something up, right? Oatmeal's a fairly safe bet. It has been 21 minutes. Very happy birthday to you. Congratulations on 20. Well done. All right, there is enough left that I'm gonna get out my little red tray and a few more liners, and we're gonna make an extra couple of muffins. Oh, Bora, that is so sweet. What a lovely birthday wish. Although if someone's not very awesome and amazing, they're just gonna be like having an okay day. Nah. My chat is full of awesome people. All right, did I mess it up? Did I only have enough for 1.5 more? Maybe. It's time to get out the spatula. I'm gonna get out the little one so I can get every little bit. And get the disher. This thing holds on to batter and dough like nobody's business. All right, that's done. Scrape the entire bowl. It's definitely something that I did growing up as well. Because my mom trying to feed 4 kids and my dad, obviously. But my dad is like slender. He's like strong, but he's not, you know, a thick man. But there were all of us to feed, and she would scrape every last bit out of that bowl, and I have no reason to do any different. I mean, I don't have 4 kids, thank God. Speaking of kids, hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Why?
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 How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Love you. Do you want a caramel apple cider cookie? They don't look fantastic, but they taste pretty good. All right, you gonna get another snack? You guys, we've been on for like an hour and I'm kind of done. We'll bake, of course. But maybe I just sped through it. These are pretty good, simple recipes too, which is nice because if you ever do need to whip something up, like
Adios. What are we having for
adios
dinner
and
tonight?
ciao, salmon and rice.
Okay.
Good? Sound fine?
I kind of wanted ramen, but.
Ramen?
Oh yeah, it's hard to eat. saying them right.
That's fine. Okay, well, all right. Kaya, how are you? Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for bringing your 5 viewers in. How are you guys? What were you playing? I saw you playing Hitman yesterday, but like I was telling our new friend Capio, I went and looked at a bunch of channels and then I just turned Twitch off because I'm a terrible person. But I did peek in on you. You did Darkwood today, okay. Oh, Darkwood's a game? Because you know we have Darkwood somewhere. He usually comes in at some point. So I did not know it was a name of a game. What kind is it? All right, we'll put these in. And since it's convection, I can put both in. I do love having convection and being able to count on it for just not freaking out if I have more than one tray in. It says 15 to 20. We'll do minimum. We'll do 15 and we'll see how it is. And then we can chat. I'm going to put some stuff. It is a horror game. Oh, that would be why I did not know of it. Bora, I'm just catching up on what you said. That's the point. Most people, it's a good thing. Some people, they get to think, oh, you just like, you get them in the like, wait a minute. Capio, oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Were you sad? Do you come in here less than just perfectly awesome? Because you are perfectly awesome. We all are. We're just amazing people. I attract amazing people into my chat. Pretty tame. Still in the newbie phase where the game is nice too. So no jump scares yet. Because I'll watch from a distance. I'll watch with no volume. I can't watch with no volume. You won't get the credit for it. You want a longer recipe? You can whip up a recipe for sartsloka with meringue. Yeah, sure. Don't not on my account, extend yourself, please. Only if it's something you enjoy and you want to do it and it will be fun. But yeah, I don't mind a tricky recipe. If I fail it, I'll just try again another time. I'm gonna put these back in the pantry and then, oh, whoa, no, cloves don't go there. Cinnamon goes there. I do keep my spices alphabetized because otherwise I would just never be able to find them. So, not because I'm particularly neat or orderly. I just have to be to do things. It's an apple pie with meringue, lots and lots of cinnamon. Yes, I would love that. Thank you. You kind of go with Reese's, who has a horror game month. Oh, well, I mean, October would be the month to do it, I guess. Your first horror game oh. Well done, Kaya. That sounds really cool. No idea how you'll deal with it, but you normally don't do. Yeah, I know I can't. So I think if you get to a point and you're like, can't, just stop, right? I mean, we were just talking a minute ago, like sometimes it's, the feelings like the chest and the nausea and stuff are like, stop. And then sometimes they're like, push through, and you know which one you are when that happens, and you've got to make that determination, right? Or sometimes it's different for different situations. Like I had a very discomfort gut feeling a couple days ago, and I pushed it and I challenged it, and it went away because it was just almost like a habit, like a baggage response, not a rational one. So I kind of went back and checked in. Hello, Warrior Queen, how are you? So just, check in with your gut and your head and your logic and whatever, you'll figure it out, what's good and what's not gonna work for you. All right, this decaf tea, if anybody needs a hydrate break, hydrate please. I will put the rest of these away, that stays out. And I'll just show you guys again. These were the yummy caramels that are in the middle of our cookies. So I got mine at Target, which if you have a Target near you, I bet you can probably find them. And if you don't, I hope you can find the equivalent. Werther's is to me it's a fine candy brand, but only their flavored caramels do I like. Like their plain ones are just sickly sweet. They don't really do the salted very much. So I love the salted. All right, these go away. Oats. I can take the flour, put that up. Good thing I have another bag in there or I'd be hurting for resources this week, huh? the rice up there for now. I'll make that in a little bit. The rice in the Instant Pot. Easy, too easy. Kaya, I congratulate you to push through the uneasiness. Thank you very much, Kaya. Sometimes it's worth it, and sometimes it turns into the, like, you need to stop. And so I'm trying to learn when is when, right? Hello, Jay Birdie. How are you? The cookies sound good. They are good. So I was just saying, hey, where did John go? Did John say something? Oh, yeah. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything from earlier chat. So these are the apple cider caramel cookies. So they have caramels in the center, but I feel like they don't look very good. They taste good. And I was saying they're not super sweet. They didn't leave a bunch of, like, you know, that sugary taste in my mouth. But right now, I think after having finished the whole thing, now the caramel sugar is coming back. So you just got a small tin pan for skull cupcakes. How fun. Hello, Rye. No, no, we've only been on for an hour. We did finish the cookies really fast though, but we have oatmeal applesauce muffins in the oven. So we'll hang for a little bit. Dang, we're getting in the way of my entertainment, right? Whose job is just inconvenient and they need to be given more time to watch Twitch? My job is not really, my job's not a doing it very well, but sometimes she gets frustrated or intimidated when there's new stuff. And there's been a lot of new math this week. And so she's been not having the best attitude. And that often stresses me out because I'm conflict avoidant and I don't like to fight and I don't like to struggle. So it's me having to spend extra emotional energy to not get frustrated or to check out, you know, those kinds of things. So, but that is, for me, that's the best job in the world. So I'm enjoying that. It's just, I mean, what job is like super easy and you walk in every day and it's perfect? Like, no, that doesn't happen. So we have a lot of great times, but it feels like a job sometimes. You're good since the little girl sleeps from 11 p.m. till 5 a.m. Jay Bird, that is so great. I'm so happy for you. Oh, there's butter on there. I exploded the butter in the microwave. And it's on the bottom of my teacup. That's okay. I love that she's getting sleep. I mean, it was every 2 to 3 hours I was waking up with Momo when she was little. So I'm glad you're getting better, like the better deal right now. Capia, you found a recipe that looks like quite like the thing you know, but 2 times less cinnamon than you use. Okay, well, you just tell me, give me the recipe, and then you tell me, like, with all the extra cinnamon, I'll put it all in. I love the cinnamon. Okay, don't take a mouthful of cinnamon. That's a whole different thing. Don't do that. That will scar your lungs. It's not smart. But put it in the recipe, absolutely. Right, what have you been up to? How are things? And Jay, you're doing well. It seems like the baby's sleeping. How's the boyo? Is he doing well too? I love the littles. And Capia, the thing about the apple pie that really appeals to me is I have not made one yet that my husband likes better than the store-bought one. So I'll try any one with the idea that someday I will be able to make an apple pie that is better than a store-bought one. Because he usually gets either an apple pie or a carrot cake for his birthday. I made carrot cake last week and it was excellent. So I'm glad for that. She has a little more cramps because we had to thicken her food. Okay. Yeah, they just get the gas, right? Warrior Queen, you have bigger ones you use for skulls filled with pepperoni and cheese inside. I would eat the heck out of pepperoni skulls. That's amazing. Did you get them on Amazon? Is there a link? I want to see. I have a skull cutter. That's right. His birthday was then. Yes, that's awesome. Of course he's spoiled. Right, you're taking stock of your life after the worst weekend at work in 4 years and the forecast isn't looking good. Your dad gave him a Mercedes. spoiled rotten. The kids, yeah. Okay, Rye, so forecast isn't looking good, as in you're gonna need to quit because it's toxic and not healthy for you in any way, and you're gonna find something else that's better, but it's gonna be a tough transition because that's always scary. That kind of isn't looking good, because you can push through that, and that might be the right thing to do. But you are the only one who knows what the really right thing to do is for you. It's hard. It's hard starting an event that you know is going to be really tough for a while, but then it's going to be really great. It's getting through the really tough. You have to persevere, and that's such a hard thing to do, right? It takes all the emotional and maybe physical, mental strength that you have sometimes. That kind. Okay, so you need a few people in your life who can fill you back up when you're drained and who can help bring you along when you need it. And if you don't have those people, I don't know how to tell you to find them. I found a bunch of them in the most random ways, but I think they're out there. Or here, come in here and get filled up and I'll make you cookies. Make you whatever you want on stream, but I can only send it to you if you're in the continental United States. But I'll send you a care package if I can afford mailing it to you. We'll all help. It's kind of what we're here for. Oh yes, Jay. A pic of him with the Mercedes. Oh. Thank you, Warrior Queen, for sending me the info on the skulls. I love a skull. Capio recipe calls for a teaspoon of cinnamon per kilo of apples. You just shy of 2. That's your thing. Most people do less than you. A kilo of apples. Oh yeah, no, I would do more too. I'd probably do a tablespoon. I'd probably do 3 times that, just because I really, you have to have a good, like, you've got to get the flavor in. Otherwise it's just insipid, you know? What apples? Does it say what apples that it recommends? Bora came back to let's talking about emotionally helpful people like herself. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. If I can be that for you, I absolutely would love to. I have a really great network, but it is not by my own doing. It is just Boro. Darn it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate that. I will send somebody a care package. That's super sweet. We're just full of feelings here, okay? Sometimes we cry on camera. I mean, come on, you guys. Like, it's at least once a month, right? Probably 2 or 3 times. You can just get me in the feels. That was so generous. Thank you very much, Bora. I really appreciate that. I knew exactly. It's for the packages. I've been saving boxes, so once I make cookies that won't disintegrate, these are very sus, texture-wise, then I will be absolutely sending. If you want a cookie care package with what Boro just cheered, I will be able to send 2 this month, because some of you are very generous with your subs as well, and so eventually Twitch will send me, you know, some dollars, and then I can take it to UPS and get them to send off cookies. So if you are interested in receiving a box of cookies from me at the point at which we have a cookie that's sendable, I would love to send this one because I like the flavor, but it's just not, it would not make it except in crumbs. Then please go onto Discord, or you can DM me in Twitch and whisper, I forget what they call it. PST. Send me privately your mailing address, and I will see what I can do. I mean, if there's more than 2 of you, we'll have to fight it out. We'll find a way. We'll find a way to make it work. So the Apache merch for Casmo went live tonight. Oh, John, it was a t-shirt, or was there other stuff? Did you do like stickers, or I know you had done the design. I'd seen that design. Y'all can, let's have the lacquer light. Is that the cherry one that I haven't made yet, Kaya? There's one that I still, wait. Was that the one I was, oh gosh. You sent me like 5 recipes and I still have at least 2 or 3 of them in there. Let me give some shout outs. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit all over the place, but okay, so that's John. He does art and he does DCS, which is the flying game that Irish also does, which is how they initially met each other. So that's John, and then we have, I was gonna say, oh no, I spelled it right. And there's Kaya. She also flies DCS, but plays horror games this month. Tibbs, cooking dinner, so you're lurking. Thank you very much for the lurk. Absolutely. Oh, Boro, thank you for, you were saving it up for when it came up again. Thank you so much. That's just so kind of you. You have too many needs. You hesitate to ever attempt the list. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. Well, you got to start somewhere, right? So, yes. Well, thank you, Rye, for being around my personality. I love it. But if you send me your address, I can send to Kentucky. Pretty sure. We'll find something for you. So pop it in there in a private message. Oh, Warrior Queen, thank you for sending the recipe too. John, there's some clips with Paul. Excellent. Hello.
Hello.
Speaking of, it's Irish. Repeating the apple type, the recipe says broccoli or any cooking, basically more sour. I'd use Granny Smith. That's our best one for cooking around here. So excellent. Thank you, Capio. It's 3 designs on a bunch of stuff. Oh, fun, John. That's awesome. All right, I'm going to take out the little tray. Make sure that they are, oh, okay, one of them is cooked and one of them isn't. We'll rotate that tray and put it back for a sec. And then let me check on the 12 count as well. And Momo may love it. I bet she will if it's got the pepperonis. Okay, these are all soft in the middle. That touch test is, in my opinion, a little bit better than sticking a toothpick in it. So I'm gonna give it 3 more minutes and we're gonna pull them no matter what. Any residual heat that's left can cook anything that's not done, but they'll be done. So, pretty sure. Jay, I don't think I can send them to the Netherlands without them, first of all, going stale, and second of all, getting crushed, and third, I don't even know how much it costs. It's just not cheap to send overseas. It's frustrating. I would love to. I would love to just be able to, you know, send it off and you'd be able to get it. But it would get stuck in customs. They'd be like, what are you hiding in these cookies? It's caramels, you guys. It's okay. They'd be opening them all. And it'd be terrible. And if we're right, they're all like, try this, you guys. How can I not burn my fingers? I just touch it on the top. It's not like, yeah, it's hot, but it's not hot, hot. Well, it's kind of, it's fine. Cookies wouldn't be safe to eat. Yeah, that's for sure. It is magic. Very expensive. I see when I worked, we had offices in London and The Hague, so I could enter office stuff, or we'd have friends coming back and forth, work friends coming back and forth. So I'd be like, hey, bring me this, or like, take that. But without that, man, it's just expensive and slow. So, hello, Reese, an Irish sighting indeed, the wild Irish sighting, because it is wine o'clock for him. How are you? I heard you were having a good stream. Sending food overboard by yourself is never, yeah, never a good idea, yeah. We sent a PC to a friend in the UK and it cost 80 euros. That's, well, and how heavy is that too? I'll show you my shipping boxes, by the way, so you can see how many. I usually ship 8 to 10 cookies at a time because this is the size of box I can send, and it will cost $10 to $13 with UPS. If I send it bigger, it's like $25, and I don't think my cookies are worth $25. So this has to have the packaging in it, like the fluff, to not break the cookies, right? This one, you probably get 2 muffins in there. But I keep all these boxes. You can see most of them are Amazon, because I can fit, you know, some cookies in here. They won't get broken, and they are on the cheapest rate to send. So, but after that, it just gets expensive. Reese, John's designs went live today. Put my boxes back over here in a stack. I'll put them away properly later, but we're talking. You're good video editing. Not sure how people do this on the regular. Ask Irish. He's a whiz at it, right? Excuse my sniffles. You can send us the ingredients and we'll make our own, right? I would, oh, so here, let me pull the muffins out, but then I will tell you. I am gonna put this on my counter. I should not, but I'm gonna get the other tray out, then I'll get the cooling rack. So my counter, like if it were marble, wouldn't that be nice? But it is not marble, it is plastic. It is plastic and the glue will come off if I keep it on here too long, so I'm not gonna. That angle was so awkward I could hardly lift it, that was funny. I'm just gonna put them right here so you can see them. That's too hot to touch. See, I don't have magic fingers, I just know what to touch and forget sometimes. We can pop these two out and put them, here we go. 1 and 2, all right. Good, so, well, they look oaty. Yeah, they look like they're full of oatmeal. They're all done. No squishies. Oh, that was a small one, Jay. Oh, that's expensive. Yeah, shipping is crazy then. Community bake-along, so Boro, yes. Google the price of a package to send to America. Do it, Jay. I'm so curious to see how many euros it would be. Friday. Frosting Friday. So this Friday, cheapest package to USA costs about 40 bucks here. Yeah, Capio, I would see that too. Yeah, I could think it would be somewhere in that range. So Friday, I will have a lab class. Yeah, so I have my, you can't see it on that light. Can you see on this light? Yep. That is my spreadsheet for frosting. So we're gonna make American buttercream frosting. And there's different methods, but the main, well, there's not really different, you whip it together. But there's different ratios of fat, sugar, milk or cream, and then most of them all have vanilla, and then some of them also have either corn syrup or shortening or both. So I was gonna go through all the recipes and all the ratios, and then if you want to, you can do it along with me and we can chat about what are your results, what are you seeing, look at what I'm doing, does it look like this? Because I make frosting all the time. I don't use a recipe, I just throw it in and I base it off of what it looks like, what I know is in it and how I want it to taste. But we can do the science of the American buttercream frosting all together on Friday. So that's my first step into maybe doing like bake-alongs or cook-alongs or something like that if we wanted to do it together to like learn. I'm not a teacher, right? Like I teach the kid, yes. I like to explain how to do things if I know them, but I'm not going to be a certified teacher. That's not my thing. I just want to share what I know so that you can do what you want with that information, whether it's do the same thing, change it up a little bit, that'd be great. So that's Friday, this Friday. Kai, would you like me to have a peek in the official book and tell you what's written there? I would, yes, thank you. I didn't think of that, but yes. The egg white and the whipped cream advice was perfect. So now if we have, does it have American buttercream though? Because I don't know how common it is to make American buttercream outside of America. It's super sweet, so sweet. No other frosting that I've ever had has been nearly as sugary. So. All right, so I'm gonna pull these out. They're definitely cooked. We don't want them to be baking anymore. Kaya, thank you so much again for making typing up all the information from that and offering to do it. It was very helpful. And I could have Googled it, but I do appreciate like the official advice that your book has because it's been tested, like chefs have done it and made sure they know what they're talking about. We'll just look up the different frostings. That'd be perfect. I have not done Swiss meringue buttercream or Italian meringue buttercream yet. So. Bri, do Brits make American buttercream when they want to feel international? Oh my goodness, only if they need the diabetes, as we say, right? I don't know what frosting type is generally used on like a British cake, for instance. Maybe more like whatever the French do. An envelope is about 23 euros. That's not even a package, Jay. That is crazy. That is, no, you just get on the internet and you send an email is what happens. You don't send an envelope. Right? I mean, that's so expensive. And even like within the US, it's getting more expensive and it's getting slower. So that's a little disappointing. I wish it weren't that way. So I'm gonna wait till these cool off. If I eat a muffin now, it will burn my mouth. And I'm not up for that yet. So we'll let them cool. Let's do an 8-minute timer and we'll see where we are. They should be good, but we'll hang out for now. It's basically the book the apprentices need to know by heart when they take the last test for pastry chef. You do have a flour allergy? I did not know that, did I? Is it gluten that you're allergic to? Or something else in the flour? That would be very hard to be a pastry chef and be allergic to flour. You would have to do all the alternatives like oat flour and chickpea flour, graham, and what else do I have in there? Maybe corn masa. Have you ever tried weird or obscure cookbooks? Capio, I don't have any weird or obscure cookbooks. I have some pretty mainstream. Like my mother gave me the Betty Crocker cookbook when I left for college. She did it for all of us, my three sisters and me. Well, gluten and you're not doing well with dust. Yeah, the texture on stuff, I get that, Kaya. Ugh. That would be miserable for you. Sorry. Capio, I have some old cookbooks, but I tend not to be able to buy a lot of things like a pound of lard. Like they're harder, more obscure things to source. But I do like trying new and weird and interesting things. So I'm up for a challenge, I think, as long as it's not something that's very hard to find or expensive, to get. Everything that I do is meant to be with stuff I already have or stuff that's easy and cheap to get because I am just a home cook. I'm not, like I try and do fancy techniques, but like pâte à choux takes basic ingredients. It's just getting the texture right to make like cream puffs and eclairs and things. So that's a fun challenge for me. Meringue the same with the whites of the eggs, that kind of thing. Eggs are not, thank God, not very expensive right now. But then you get into these specialty things and it gets hard. You wanted to order the neck or nom 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 nom. Is that a real cookbook? Jay, it takes 3 days, so I'm not even sure if it gets more expensive than when it takes like 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm sure it would be. You bought a World of Warcraft cookbook for your best friend. Aw, I saw, so there's a streamer called Miss Molly Makes, and she is Australian, I believe, and I saw her making, I say Dalaran. It's either Dalaran or Dalaran, I don't know, but the brownies. And I have the recipe only. So I did not buy the WoW cookbook. I put it on my wish list at some point, but I did find a copy of it somewhere. So I have that and I would love to try it because the other thing I cannot make better than the store-bought version, according to my family, apple pie and brownies. We literally have a box of brownie mix in the pantry for when they want brownies. So if I can find the recipes where I can make it homemade better, I want to. Ra, you have the vegan fast food cookbook. It's recipes for fast food menu items made vegan. That sounds pretty good. That would be a fun thing to do. I like to take sugar out of stuff. I could like to take, animal products out of stuff. I mean, French fries are the obvious answer, right? I love fries. Capio, it's based on Lovecraftian monsters. Oh, that would be so fun. I don't mind doing savory here and there. I just mostly... So I started streaming. So Capio, this is for you specifically, but anybody else who I've not told my little story to. I started streaming because I started streaming in end of March, beginning of April this year. And I had a customer service remote job, part-time, that kind of thing. It was, we had a pandemic. I had nothing to do. I got a little job, that kind of thing. But I ended up finding myself baking a lot. And I realized it's something I do to soothe myself. It's like a stress response. So I'm in here like making cookies, making muffins. These will be breakfast muffins, stuff that my family will eat and likes. But baking almost every day. And so when Irish he's been doing streaming for a while, he's good at it. He's like, why don't you start a stream? What would you do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, what do I like enough and do often enough to stream? And he's like, well, you're in the kitchen all the time. So I was like, well, I should stream baking. And so that's why it's just been baking for the most part. I did used to make dinners on stream. It made dinner time really stressful and hard to plan. So I have stepped away from that, although I will start the rice sometime soon and maybe get the salmon out. But I don't mind a savory Actually, I do like to do a savory version of a sweet. I think that's a really fun thing. And so I don't mind it, but it's just been how it's come about for me has been definitely through the sweets avenue. That's a long story. It could be shorter. I'm sorry. It's 3 noms, not 4. I'll just keep saying nom 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 until I'm done because it's really fun. I amuse myself. 9,997 out of 10,000 better from scratch isn't bad, right? That's true. That's true. If only a few of my recipes are not as good as store-bought, I can handle it. It's that it's in Dutch, otherwise I'd ask him for some pics of the recipes. That'd be cool. Have you ever made carrot cake muffins? Yes. I just use the carrot cake recipe. I haven't put it in muffins and it's just as good. I would have made them last week, but I made the cake instead because I feel like a birthday usually calls for a cake. If you want a carrot cake muffin for your birthday, I'm out of carrots. Otherwise I could make one. Darn. I don't usually have carrots or bananas in the house. It's for carrot cake and banana bread. Like those, I will buy carrots and bananas. Now bananas, I love, but I'll eat them all up so I can't bake with them. Carrots, nobody loves here. I'll eat them if they're here and I'm not making them into carrot cake, but generally I don't get them unless I'm baking with them. So, ooh, cream puffs. Instead of cream, you should use cheese. That's a good one, Jaybird. Have I done savory cream puffs? I want to say I tried, but I don't remember. It would have been a long time ago. But yes, making savory cream puffs would be really good. I mean, they're just eggy anyway, so you could fill them with like cream cheese and salmon. Like I'm making salmon tonight. I could leave some leftovers for that. Or, well, cream cheese and anything savory, garlic, you know, herbs. That would be fun. That'd be really good. Hello, Downrider. Cacaw. Well, welcome. Well, what are you bringing yourself in for? Are you hungry? Creme, which one sounds good? What brought you in, Downrider? Was it the muffins? 33 seconds until I taste this one right here. Had my eye on it the whole time. And I'll wait because I set a timer for a reason, so I might as well stick with it. Sometimes I don't. You love carrots that come from stock. They're sweet. They have a little bit of amount of umami and are super soft. Ooh, yeah. That come from stock. We only have one kind of carrot here. I don't know. We probably have more and I'm just a peasant. There we go. You just like food cooking, Downrider? Is that what you want to be called, Downrider? I know I'm saying it with my Texan voice. Let me know if I'm doing it wrong. But you're definitely welcome in. So these are apple oatmeal cupcakes. They do have wheat flour in them, so they're not like gluten-free. I could make them that way, but I didn't. And it's a new recipe to me, so I will be taste testing for the first time. Cheese and bacon, Jaybird, that's a good idea. Yeah, cream cheese and bacon, or like cream cheese and cheddar and bacon, that would be good. Creme delish, yes, you're in them with the bacon. Oh yeah, Capio, I get you. Okay, when they're cooked, yeah. Okay. So I used fake sugar in these. I used monk fruit erythritol mix, which is what I usually do when I make stuff that is either sugar-free or keto, depending on what I'm doing. They don't taste sweet first. It's not that they're not sweet, it's just they don't taste sugary. They don't pop you in the mouth, yeah? They are very moist. I thought they would be. And they did not disappoint me. The oats definitely are nice. You get texture and a little bit of flavor from them. I'll show you. I messed up my stream deck here. You see the crumb? It's nice and fluffy. These are not dense in any way at all, which is important because the reason I pulled this new recipe off the internet was because my old recipe tended to get really stodgy and dense and clumpy. So this is my new replacement. And then I will just start to put, instead of applesauce, I'll put other vegetables in. Or mixes of other vegetables, or banana. And this would become a new banana oat muffin. Thank you, Creme. It's pretty good. I'm happy. Is there icing on some of them or a different kind? No. You're looking at brown on brown. I'm sorry, Downrider. These are caramel filled cookies. So they have a little soft spot here because there's caramel inside. And so these are actually apple cider caramel cookies. And then these are our applesauce oat muffins. So I did 2 recipes. Sometimes I do 1, sometimes I do 2, depending on the complexity. These were both very quick today. Yeah, I usually try and go till 6 or 6:30. So I'm way fast. They both came up very quickly. I'd made the cider caramel ones before, but apparently not since 2018. That was my last note on my recipe, which is why I print them out. I write on them. So I hadn't done these in quite a while, but they turned out nice. They're just, they're cakey. So they're like, they're crumbly a little bit. Cappy reminds you of gingerbread. A little bit. I have. Wait, I'll show you. You can't say gingerbread around here without me getting a little bit excited. So, I'm in the freezer.
Cookies!
Yes, Borrow. I love cookies. This is my gingerbread dough. And actually, since we're here and we have time, I'll turn this back on. So I love gingerbread. I love it so much. If I was not married to Irish, I would marry gingerbread. I make a huge batch and then I freeze it so that I can have gingerbread whenever I want. And I actually, so we have that, which is how you normally freeze dough or chill it anyway. But then, have I heard of speculoos? Yes, I have. The cookie butter cookie. I haven't bought it, but I know Trader Joe's has it, right? You love the smell of it? Absolutely wonderful. This is gingerbread dough rolled out. So that all I have to do is leave it here, come back in a minute, cut it and bake it. And we're gonna do that because I would like to have a gingerbread and we're pretending that it's fall. I am in Texas. It is not fall. It is summer. Next week it will be fall, but our weather is hot. I'm ready for all of the fall things though. So we'll get a little bit of gingerbread going. And me and the kiddo both love gingerbread. So it helps to have a few cookies around, right? A gingerbread spread. Yes, is it gingerbready, really? Oh, Boro, you're gonna crash. Absolutely. Rest well, my friend. Thank you again very much for your generosity in the bits. I will send out boxes. I should put your name on them. Courtesy of Boro. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna put this in the fridge. No, freezer. But while I'm in the fridge, I might as well get the salmon. We're gonna cook salmon tonight, so I'll let it get up to room temp. But yes, so for those of you who make gingerbread, do you use molasses or do you use treacle or is there something else? Because this one, I mean, I feel like America, molasses kind of a thing. And so there's molasses in this, but I would love to try something else. Gingerbread is almost exclusively eaten on Christmas here, so putting into a 2-month craving. I'm not sorry. It's usually very much a holiday Christmas treat here too, but I literally will keep it all year because I love it so much. So I'm a little sorry, but not much. All right, let's put those recipes away. I'm gonna wipe the counter while we're here. It's a little bit messy. It's just vanilla, I think. You can always tell where the vanilla gets. Thank you, Creme, for the lurk, of course. There we go. I mean, it's frozen solid, but it's not very thick. I keep it at about, how many millimeters is it? I use my rolling pin with the guides on it so that it stays like flat, properly flat. It is 10, yeah. So it's a centimeter thick, which is just the right one for me. And then we have our owls. I always make owls. So we'll let that warm up quite a bit. You can see I rolled some out before, I think, and then smushed some of it back together, so. Uh-oh, my wax paper is not coming off. There we go. Yeah, it's already starting to warm up, which is nice. Hooty hoo! I like you with the bird noises. That's fun. Having pre-made gingerbread is an idea. I might try to include stuff I want to do. Don't, because I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I make a double batch of gingerbread. I make a double batch of chocolate chip cookie dough, and then I just freeze it, and then I bring it back out when I want cookies. Then I'm not making cookie dough every week, and I'm not baking off all the cookies, because I will waste them or eat them. Neither of those are good choices. So we freeze them before you bake them, and that way they're fresh baked every time. Downright, where are you from? I would have to get speculoos too I'll try and get it at Trader Joe's sometime. That's a good idea. We're going there next week. But I love hearing different food things from everybody around the world, you know? St. Louis? Or does that mean something else? Because it could mean anything, but that's what I assume. Our cookie tray is actually fine, so it has some caramel on it. We'll wipe it off. It is St. Louis. Okay, perfect. I'm not that great at geography, but I have a friend who lives there, so I kind of know where it is. This mat is super good. You've never had a proper chocolate chip cookie. Oh my gosh, Capio, I have the best recipe for you. Well, it takes some work though. So it depends on how much effort you want to put into it. But I will show you my chocolate chip cookie recipe, and then you tell me what you think. I will get all my recipes down. Oof. And actually I need to make notes on my new ones. Well, so this is my cookies, cakes, pies, puddings, and other sweets recipe binder. And on the front, there's vanilla soft serve ice cream recipe, because I was making it every week for my kid. Kaya, good night. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the raid. Thank you again. And I will catch you soon. Get some rest. The stove is singing. I think I named her Goethe one stream, so we're gonna say Goethe is singing. Oh, well, this is what I was looking for. You've had some American cookies that were store-bought, but you never had homemade cookies. Homemade is so much better, trust me. Those are great mats. You have one? I love them. I know, I treat mine like junk. So I had Silpats at one point, like the French version, but Artisan Metalworks, I had 2 of these, and I only got rid of the other one last year, I think. You can burn stuff on them to the point where they don't work anymore, which is what I did. But this one I've kept cleaner. I've probably had it for 8 or 9 years, and it's awesome. A few things stick a little bit. I made chocolate meringue cookies last week that stuck, but they stuck to everything, like parchment, Silpat, all the things. So I do love this one. Tibbs is dancing with my oldest, the suavemente. Excellent, excelente. Let me just make a note. It's the 10th. I'm gonna say they're still good. And they're cakey. I wish I knew how to make them more moist, but it might be the nature of the cookie. They're just not gonna be that moist. All right, those go in the cookies, and I'll show you the name of the stove, the oven. So this is my fancy oven, and it sings when it's ready. It plays the tune, and it has 2 chambers and a divider in between, so I can do 2 different bakes, and it's convection. So it's very smart and very fancy, and so I figured it needed a name so that whenever I was talking about it, I could call it a name. So I did. It's silly. Yes, yeah, the racks on the stove are super, super nice. They're very heavy. It's been amazing. We didn't mean to get a new stove, but we had the stove that was original to the house, so it was built in 95. And so it was a basic gas stove and oven. We were boiling, we were making fish and chips in a big oil pan or pot. And it boiled over so much that oil got down into the stove, and there's like places where the gas comes in. Well, we couldn't clean it out, so every time we turned the stove on, the house would just fill with smoke. Like it wasn't usable, and apparently it wasn't cleanable. So we had to get rid of that and get a new fancy oven. So that's why we have that. But we are happy. Good to roast peppers or eggplants on those? Yes, absolutely. You can just put it right on. Yeah, I have chilies. Yeah, chili peppers as well. So good times. So chocolate chip cookies, Capio. This is America's Test Kitchen recipe. Can you see how dirty this is and how many notes I've made on it? It's a huge mess because I make this recipe once or twice a month and I double it, and everybody loves it. The thing is, you have to brown the butter, then you have to mix the butter, sugar, and eggs together 3 times and wait 3 minutes. Like mix them all, wait 3 minutes, mix them all, wait 3 minutes, mix them all, wait 3 minutes. Then you go on with the rest of the recipe. So when I double it, I do all that work, and then I don't have to do it again for a month. So it makes it easier. Excuse me. So I love this recipe. It will always be the best chocolate chip recipe to me. It's not the one I grew up with. My mother's recipe is also very well loved, but it has pudding mix in it, and so it's a very different flavor. So, your house was built pre-World War II. Anything built after 1990 is considered modern. Yeah. Yeah, this is not old, but the stove was very basic, and so, which is fine. Like, it was fine for us. We did not necessarily mean to get a fancy stove, but it was literally the only one we could get that had the two chambers, and so we got it, and we're very happy. So it's good, but it kind of was an unexpected thing. So no, yeah, and we're America. We don't have old stuff. For the most part, it's not that old. So like Europe. Well, and we're studying, like me and the kid, for history. She very much enjoys ancient history. So we've just done ancient Greeks, and we've done ancient Egypt, we've done some of ancient Rome. We are doing, what are we doing now? Oh, Magna Carta. Yeah, we were doing Britain for a little bit there. Magna Carta, Robin Hood, Crusades, that kind of thing. So anyway. All right, I'm gonna make a note on this one as well. So the thing about the muffins, really nice crumb, really moist, good flavor. You could add anything else in there and it would be good. Raisins, nuts, I would love toasted pecans in there for myself, actually. So raisins, nuts, other dried fruit, a different fruit instead of applesauce, like mashed banana, grated carrot, any of that would probably go very well in here. So I'm just gonna say add anything, and it'll have more of that character, so that'd be good. All right, you miss being able to dance, warrior queen. Aw, that is sad, but yes, I love the stove too. All right, let me, yeah, they are ready to cut. Hello, Shayna, more cookies. How do I eat them all? I give a lot of them away. That's how I keep friends. I do give a lot of them away. I think for, you can't see quite all of them, can you? There you go. For these, I will probably just give them to friends. For the muffins, I will eat them for sure. The muffins will freeze very well as well, so I think I might keep half of them out and freeze half of them. It's nice to have one for breakfast, right? And the trick, Shayna, to what we were just talking about with the cookies was, it's so nice to freeze the dough, make a huge batch of dough. This is from a double batch of gingerbread that I've just pulled out of the freezer because I rolled it out centimeter thick. And then as soon as I want to bake any, I let it thaw for maybe what we've been talking for 10 minutes. Let it thaw for 10 minutes. It's ready to be cut. I'm going to cut 4 more owls, and then I'm going to put the rest of it back in the freezer. So it makes it super easy to have fresh cookies when you don't have to make fresh dough. I'm all about cheating the system. There's a new building right next to you. It looks silly when you look around, see some of the old houses, but look, they're going to collapse any second. Then there's the new modern house built about 3 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. Around here, like in Texas, we build a new and build new and build new and build new, and we just get expanding out. Like the city just keeps getting bigger and bigger, which I guess is fine. Well, that's how it is here. But what if you don't have that much space? Or what if you know, I would like it to last longer and be more sustainable, I guess. But here we kind of tear stuff down sometimes and then build more stuff. Tear down 1 and build 2 fancy moderns for 3 times the price. Oh my gosh. Sounds like a lot. I mean, I assume it happens kind of everywhere, right? Like, oh, we don't want the old stuff, we want fancy new stuff. But you make the fancy new stuff out of not great materials sometimes. Downrider, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope that we see you again. You don't have to follow, but I will be here hopefully 4 p.m. Central for the rest of the week. Frosting class on Friday if you're interested. I should call it a lab, frosting lab. So yeah, but for now, thank you for being here at all. Appreciate you. I'm gonna throw the rest of the dough back in the freezer. I'm gonna put it back in that Ziploc bag because the one thing about the freezer that can be tricky is you don't want it to get ice crystals and you don't want it to pick up any other smells. There shouldn't be any other smells in the freezer really because everything in there is frozen, but I do like to bag everything that goes into the freezer too. So these also have wax paper and then plastic wrap, so it's double wrapped, so keeps it quite fresh. And we put them in I have a cheat sheet over here for every cookie that I make. Oh, right, honey nut gingerbread. This is $3.75 for 9. Let's bump it up. So temperature doesn't always make a huge difference depending on what it is. Like a cake, you can bake at 350 or 375 and it's almost the same, but with cookies, it tends to matter quite a bit more from what I've seen. So I try to keep it, well, so like, Capio, you live in a bigger city, so there aren't a lot of houses, but most living quarters near your area are flats. Yeah, and I'm sure eventually any remaining houses will be torn down and made into apartment buildings too. The only dough you freeze is crumble for your apple pies. Oh, that's a good one though. Yeah. You do like freezing dough so you can make a small batch? Yes, that's exactly why I do it. You live in a tall, skinny townhouse. They're popular too, as can build a big house on a small lot. That's true. That's true. Build up. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. That's okay. All good. I'll remember eventually anyway. All right, so I'm just going to wipe this owl off. Quick and easy, nice little batch. And then cookies on demand. Who doesn't want cookies on demand? Unless for lots of reasons you don't, which makes perfect sense. All right, so while we're baking the cookies, I'm actually going to start with dinner, and then before dinner's done, we'll go ahead and find another interesting cooking friend to go watch. But I will get the rice started. You don't have dedicated parking spots, even though you live about a mile from the city center. Ooh, and do you tend to drive places, or is it bus and train and things like that? Here in Texas, we drive everywhere. There's nothing. The buses are not great. And that's kind of, we don't have a lot of trains except for cargo. All right, get that Instant Pot going. And that's basmati we're making. Just for your reference. This is gonna be really loud now. Capio, I'm looking forward to seeing the apple pie recipe that you're sharing, because that's definitely of interest to me. Oof, just threw it down. All right, we'll get the water in. We're almost up to temp on our cookies. You have limited street parking, it's free for all. You have a 2-car garage, yes. 2.5 miles from city center and even closer to a college, so tons of vehicles, right? That's the hard thing when, I mean, at least you have a garage, so there is that, but that's just so much traffic. Oh, it's already on Discord. Perfect. Thank you, Capio. I won't check. I usually don't check Discord during stream, so I even have notifications turned off on my watch, which was pretty smart of me, I have to say. I usually get, my watch starts to blow up in the evening for some reason, but no, I appreciate that you sent that. Yes, Shayna, come check it out if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. Like, I can't deal with too many Discords. I have a few too many right now. It freaks me out. Very stressed. I just feel like I have to read everything that everyone's saying, and it's a lot. All right, so that's 7 minutes, 9 minutes. You'd think I would have it memorized, but I just don't. It is 9, okay. All right, so I will get some water in the rice while we let those cook. 1 1/4. We made a lot of rice recently, so we think we have the proportions just right. Irish mostly. Irish made a lot of rice the last couple of years. College, the only thing you would have to take a bus for. You didn't get accepted. Boo. They don't know what they're missing. Here, you just pay more money. There we go. Gotta have plenty of salt. You bus to work, could bike, but you're lazy. It's either too hot or too cold. I get, oh, there's a gnat in my tea. But, no, but I mean, busing, if the bus system works, that's really good. But like, the bus doesn't come here, so I have to drive and park and ride and wait, because there's always lines for the buses, and then ride, like wait in line, then ride back if I work downtown, and then drive even more home. So they're just not as, I don't know, not as useful for me, I guess. So they have a few trains downtown, but not enough that you can go lots of places. You still have to drive to downtown and then take a train back and forth around. Not my favorite. 1/2 mile from a stop, not bad. Yes. College is free, so have to have some rules on who to accept. Yes. I think that's a big difference, right? If it's going to be paid for, then how do you manage that? Because otherwise it would be maybe more taken advantage of. I don't know. But yeah, here, not free. You can get scholarships. You can get if you do academically really well, people will give you money sometimes, but not normally. So that's a little bit, I don't know, it's a system I grew up with, so I'm used to it, but it's funny to see it from another perspective, right? Like if college was free here, I wonder if that would change anything. I know so many people who are in the younger generation who is now going to college who take a year and then drop out. And I get it. It's not for everybody. But for the people that want to go, I wish they could, you know. What would you study if you were going to college? And is there a way to study it without going? Because if it's like engineering, that's kind of hard. I'm gonna get the pan. The salmon pan. It's not really a pan just for salmon, but it's really good for salmon. It has like the ribs in it and stuff. It's super good. You're top of your high school graduating class, but no free money that you could find. That's hard. You would feel like, yeah, the top of the graduating class would be eligible for some kind of scholarship or something, right? You would think. Hello, Connie, how are you? You would be too lazy to go to class? Some of us were. I went to a college and then dropped out, and then went to another college and finished. It took some time and some, you know, had to figure some stuff out. You have a pan like that, don't use it much. What else do you use it for? I use it for just meat, honestly, because it's a sear. It's called a sear pan, and so it's high heat, but like, you know, so you put chicken breasts, you know, fajita, whatever we've got. There's just generally a good meat pan. So if you don't eat meat, don't bother it. Connie here, weed-head gamer and like to party. At college, that was like college dropout written all over it, right? Like I found out way better things to do than go to class. I'll find another way to make a living. I don't even care. And you don't need a college degree for a lot of things. Like that's awesome that you can be, you know, successful and self-supporting and all the things that a lot of people want to be and not have to have a degree. So it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter that much, but if you want one, it would be nice to be able to get one, you know? You went to college part-time while working took forever. Yes, Shayna. Yeah. It's quite a mouthful. The full name is Industrial Mechanotronics with additional courses on material durability. Ooh, an automation with robotics. That sounds like the best kind of engineering. Your kid works at the Google robotics division. That's amazing, Shayna. What a cool field to be in. Yes. Awesome. Connie's more or less paper. You have a feeling, at least in Germany, it gets more and more useless. I mean, the same in the US in some cases. Like if I got a science degree, but if I had gotten a liberal arts degree, an English degree, I have an English degree, but it's a different one. If I had gotten the undergraduate degree, if I hadn't gotten it for computers, which I did, it would have been useless. It would not have gotten me anything other than the people who think about, can you do something you don't like for 4 years? Or can you study something and be serious for 4 years? If you're looking for a personality thing to say, yeah, I can sit down and do a hard job for 4 years. If you're looking for that, college degree will indicate that sometimes. But it's not always even useful, right? I was gonna get a philosophy degree. Tell me what you do with a philosophy degree. Come on. There we go. All right, we'll get that pan hot for the salmon. So, yeah. You know, I would never say go to college if you don't want to, and I would never say give up on college if you really want to, right? Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes stuff doesn't work out how we want, and that's hard. Should we we had this conversation earlier in stream, should we push through or should we go a different way? That's up to you, and you have to, you know, figure it out. But you're the only one who can do that, so go you. You started baking channel on Twitch, I tell you what. That's what you do, John, with a philosophy degree. I should have done it. We have all these kids from college at my law firm. They don't know squat. I'm sure, Shayna, right? Yeah, it doesn't automatically say you know anything at all. That's true. Other than how to fake your way through college, maybe. Connie, it's also young people with bachelors or who have no experience in the working world and sometimes lacking. That's also true, right? That's a good point. Where you're like, oh, all you know is academics. You have no idea how to actually do business and have a personality and get along with others, those kinds of things, right? Life skills. Happy you already have an IT technician title you got in high school and you wanted the major degree. Cool, you can get stuff in high school. We can't. I mean, I guess we could, sort of, but it's not the same. All right, let's see. The pan is hot for the salmon. I'm gonna pull out, oh yes. Look at my fat owls. They're so fat. They're also upside down to you guys. Here we go. I'll flip them around. I'm gonna get in trouble on this counter. Here we go. You remember how they were skinny? They get fat. And when they crack like this, it's super good. This recipe does it so it doesn't look perfect. You can even see like the little ears here, but it's so chewy and moist in the center and just right along the edges, it's crispy. So that is my favorite gingerbread of all time. All right. Well, so that's all I didn't even mean to make the gingerbread, but I'm glad we did because now we have gingerbread. And so we're gonna go grab me one gingerbread. I have a recipe for you, my friend. Or I should start a booth at the market and sell gingerbread right next to your creme delish. We would have a great, that sounds like a lot of work. I also don't have a kitchen license. There you ask about PowerPoints, right? Am I baking the cakes into existence or are they simply being used? Simply using me as a conduit to materialize Descartes. John, I love that. You should put that on a shirt. That'd be fantastic. Am I making a material representation of a cake? Not the ideal. It is a lot of work. It is, Graham. Hey, Geek Boy. We're about to raid out, you guys. I'm just gonna put the salmon on so it can get cooking too. And then I'll find somebody. If you have suggestions, you let me know. You can be a cottage food company. You still have to go get a license for that, right? Is that right? I had a friend who had one and I thought it was like, she also wanted, I threw the salmon on the floor. We're gonna rinse that off in a minute, but I have more I need to put on. It literally fell apart. Let's not do that again. Oh goodness. Five-second rule. Oh, I'm rinsing it off and cooking it. You believe me, it's salmon. You've not made gingerbread before, but I love it. The rolling out intimidated you. Shayna, you actually put it between two pieces of wax paper at room temp and then roll it out. Super easy. You can peel the paper off and it's not super, the recipe I have is not super sticky. Geek Boy, you keep missing 2 hours of stream. I am so sorry. Don't you worry though. I'll be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. All right, we rinsed it. Now we're gonna cook it. All right, there's fish juice on the counter. We're fine, everything's fine. Hey Flatspin, how are you? Yes, Shayna. True, watching the VOD's the same, yes. It is usually 4 p.m. Geek Boy, yes. Usually on time. Last week was weird, but usually yes. How you doing, Flat? Okay, where are we? Capio, 3 types of high school: basic, higher, no title, and then brand school, which gives you experience but no title and no education, and then technician high school. Cool, that is super cool. Then you get to figure it out, like you get to go for it before you're, done with school. That's really great. Certain days, Tuesday through Friday, Geek Boy, yep. This week I should be on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 4. Last week was weird. This week should be normal. So yes. Let's have a peek. Oh, I don't even have Chrome open. On Tuesdays, I never know who to raid. Wednesdays, it's Mama Huevos or Hippie Wayfarer. Thursdays, it's always Cookie Manor. Ooh, we have a bunch of people on. Let's see. We have George Hot Sauce. Lordy. Did she change her name from Cooking with Lordy to just Lordy? Because she does a lot of crafting too, I bet. Hello, Itis. She gets me every time. Hello, Itis Meal Prep is on. The only downside of choosing technical school is you have to study for a year longer. But you get the certificate out of it, right? I mean, so there's, yeah, I see why some people might not love that. Krem, thank you so much. I appreciate it, as always. Let's see what Lordy is up to. And George. See how long they've been on. I do have a tendency to raid and then they raid out. They're like, oh, I was just leaving. He's been on for an hour 30. She's been on for 2:16. She's cooking something up on the stove though. Capio, thank you very much. I'm so glad that you came in. I will see you next time for sure. Geek Boy, alarm for Tuesday, Thursday, 4 p.m. set. Sweet, I'm on your calendar. I love it. Who else did I say? I said George. Oh, Lordy and Isis Meal Prep. Let's see how long she's been on. An hour 34. I think we're gonna go say hi to George. He looks like he's still going, so thank you all for being here. Come raid George if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 Central. I appreciate y'all being here as always. And if you need anything, send me a message in Twitch or Discord or whatever, and we'll chat. All right, I appreciate you guys.